On everyone, just pretty sure I'm up and running, pretty sure I'm live. Just wanna see myself. I see myself. What's up on both channels? I hear myself on both channels. And yeah, we're gonna dive right in. Thank you for tuning into another chart mastery with myself. We had a really interesting stream last time. Really interesting, not quite turn of events, but a little bit of a liquidity turn in crypto, right? We saw a sell-off happen right after the stream. I didn't quite see it. I didn't foresee it on BTC during the stream, but I did mention a Litecoin hedge and a Link hedge and opening short positions on there just because they were at a 61.8, and they did play out, right? They played out beautifully. For you guys following us on like Twitter, I posted some of the positions I had open on those trades, and they did really well. In terms of BTC, right, I'm gonna cover the basics. I noticed the last couple of streams I kind of got sidetracked with y'all's requests. So what I'm gonna do this time around, instead of covering cryptos and taking requests and then covering stocks, what I'm gonna cover BTC, ETH, Litecoin, Link, and then do the indices, the S&P and the QQQ. And then I'll dive into all the ticker requests that you guys want to hit me with. For you guys watching, smash that like button, say hi, drop a wave, just so I know who all's around. And yeah, let's dive right in. So looking at BTC, I did have a target at 69,574. Did we get there? I mean, it got close. It didn't quite get there. We are retesting the previous resistance, right? And it should be turning into support, right? So 63,705, like that to me should hold that support. And if you go into like an intraday chart, it is a 61.8. I think this is a good level to start considering a leveraged long for you guys that are leverage traders. And the trade setup would look something like this, right? So we're not quite at the 61.8. I do think we could see a little bit more downside. Based off this like Coinbase wick down to 61,946, and if we don't get that 61.8 bounce, if the 50% does hold, which would be a little more bullish, right? And then the entry would be at the 50% fib over here with a stop down here, and if not, if that gets stopped, then I'd look for some kind of wick here, right, at 61.9. And that would be the entry with a stop down here for continuation, right? That's just what I'm seeing on BTC. I haven't checked like daily RSI or anything like that. So let's put on some momentum oscillators. They're not my go-tos, but I just want to see if like there's a big bear div or something we're missing. I'm going to start with RBI, which is a proprietary indicator that we built. And usually on like a strong sell signal, we'll see this like red bar, and we're not seeing it here. We're seeing like a weaker sell signal, but we're also seeing like KD entanglement, and the signal line is kind of bouncing off the red. This indicator is unique. I'm not going to go over the intricacies of it now, but if you guys are interested, there's a video about it on our YouTube channel. And put up something more traditional like an RSI, right? Want to check for divergences, see if there's something super obvious. There is a little bit of a bear div, right? Like we didn't get that daily break and close above. Would I go by that? Would I still be longing? It's tricky. It is the long setup, the leverage long setup I mentioned, right? Like I think that would be the smart play to like when to buy this dip, right? And if we dip lower, that's a different story. Hey Daz, on the tube. Alright, let's I feel like that's all I have for BTC. So I would like to see 63,705 hold and maintain, and then the intraday play I highlighted. Let's look up a Litecoin, because I mean during the last stream I was talking about, hey, shorting Litecoin at that 61.8 or at least hedging it would be a really good idea, and it was really good timing because it was right in the middle of the stream when I said that. And sure enough, we saw like a 17% downside, and my target from that short was like 233, and we'll reassess that just now. There was a major 61.8 at that red line, right? And it's pulled back 17% total from that entry, and that entry was 261.8. Interestingly enough, there's a stock that I just shorted that's doing something very similar, and I'll highlight that later. I bought puts on it this morning. So, the short at 295, right? I said if we take out a hedge here and protect from downside, right, we would be able to maintain our previous long. Now, my long got stopped out. I think we should see a 50% or at least a 61.8 retracement, and these would look something like the following, right? We're currently bouncing off the 50. I was saying 237, 233 would be good support. So if we do get another leg down, which we could potentially see on BTC too, I would want to trade that. And if we do start getting a good volume bounce here, which it looks like it, then it's definitely, I don't think this run's over, right? But a safe way to do it is to take out this hedge, right? Short the 61.8, which we already did. Bet on downside. And once we capture the downside, right, take out a long here on a different sub account and bet on upside. And since we have a short and a long going, if the chart decides to dump further, the long would get stopped out and the short would continue running, right? And the same thing would happen in the inverse. So it's just like a double-edged sword play that we're betting on a breakout either to the upside or to the downside. And that's how I like to treat like swinging markets and volatility. And it just seems like it could get played. Where do I check you guys' comments on TradingView? I'll ask the comment box. I'm just going to do a refresh. All right, it's back up. So that covers LTC. Let's go over Ether daily. And once again, my fibs are gone, so we're just gonna start this one from scratch. I'm gonna start with this major swing. And did we hit target? It got close. It got close. I was really looking for just going a little higher on ETH, and it's still doing this like channel. It looks like it's starting to break down. Where is support? I feel like we're looking at it, right? 45.86, and it's kind of been, we've seen Ether take these, long candle up and just like consolidating sideways, but in an upwards channel, right? And that's it's not the prettiest channel I've drawn. That's just what price action's been doing, right? But it's been respecting like support, right? Resistance right here, it turns into support. Resistance turns into support. We could go parabolic at some point, or we could correct. The best way to play this one out would be like find a 61.8 and possibly hedge it, just like what we did on LTC, right? And intraday, I don't see a 61.8 setup right now, but if I was to short this, I would probably, I don't think I'm going to short Ether, but it'd be like 46.97. That being said, I do think there's more upside in this chart. You guys are awfully quiet on both streams, man. I don't know what's going on. Or are you guys waiting for me to ask for tickers? I'm gonna pull up ES. This morning's update in Discord was we're gonna close shorts on a close above the 61.8, and we're gonna look for another 61.8 to short. Are we there yet? The initial 61.8 where I closed my short was like 45.69 right here, 46.59. I figured if we're gonna break above this and close above, then we're likely gonna see an upwards move, right? And then I also highlighted two key levels that we'd want to short, and I do think I might buy puts again, right? I might buy puts again, and I haven't fully decided what I want to do on the S&P yet. And if it closes above 46.78, I'd let it run. But literally, the Discord morning update, I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. Indices. All right. That was the conditional. Like, hey, if this breaks above, we're gonna exit the puts that we bought last week, and 46.78 was gonna be the next short. 46.93 being like absolute most I'm willing to bet risk on at that point. I don't want to leverage a short anymore. I wouldn't want to buy puts. But in terms of puts, I think we should probably re-enter puts and with a stop up high, right? And maybe give us more time than the ones that were expiring next Friday. Just give us a better entry, cheaper entry. We saved some money. We pocketed some money on the drop, and yeah, just like an extension. QQQ, probably very similar story. So I'm just going to pull up the NQ futures. And on this one, I'm going to use this 61.8. Like, this is going to be where I'm going to place my fib, because this is where that last move started. And it's also at like 16,202. So I'm probably going to wait for reassessment before just blindly buying puts, right? If we get a break above, I'm not going to short. But if we don't, if you get more rejection, I'll probably take a put at the money 2 weeks out and see what happens. How does this graph work? Nick, you have to be a little more specific with such questions. Which graph are you referring to? All right. That covers what I wanted to cover. Let's cover, I didn't cover a link, did I? So let's go over a link, and you guys start sending me some tickers, like what you want me to go over. Link was doing the exact same thing as Litecoin, and it was a 61.8 bearish retracement. It's only like bearish until it's proven otherwise, right? And by bearish, I mean it retraced up. Just because something went up in price doesn't mean it's really bullish until it like closes above the 61.8 and keeps rallying, right? So we did take out a short. I mentioned this on stream saying, hey, like this is a pretty good short entry. This was our long target, and we want to see how this plays out. And we did get a dump back. If this channel holds, I'd probably want to treat it the same as Litecoin, where we have a short on one sub account and a long on another sub account. Defnick, do you the indicator that I had pulled up, RBI, like this one, or are you talking about the fib that I'm drawing, the lines? Like, oh yeah, that's the fib retracement tool. I'm not gonna do a fib workshop right now, but if you're interested in learning how to use the fib tool, which sounds like you are, I'm doing a workshop on the 27th. It's like a 3-hour webinar on how to use the tool. Like basically everything I know how to use, everything I've learned about fibs is going to be in one workshop, so you would get the lowdown on how to use the tool. Basically, you have to draw it. It's not like an automatic indicator, and you kind of want to trade certain levels, like the 61.8, the 1.2, the 1.4, the 1.6, right? So there's various fib levels that the market likes to turn at, right? And likes to pivot at, and that's exactly how you use this tool. It's just you want to like assess it and what's happening. You get support, resistance, extensions. It's great. Like this is an amazing tool. Like you can you can see targets into the future, support in the future, resistance in the future, get targets. It's great. It's great. But I'm not gonna go into the details of everything I know about fibs, not right now. All right, let's go over some tickers. What do you guys want me to cover? I've covered what I wanted to, and I kind of give you guys my outlook on the market and the plays I'm playing. The one chart that I mentioned that I did short because it's also doing a 61.8 is Lucid. All right, this one got hyped up. It started pumping. It's another EV stock, right? And it's literally rejecting at a 61.8 on the daily. And if you go in an intraday, it did the same thing. It looks like Litecoin did and LTC did before I shorted. And yeah, so I bought some puts. I bought some $44 puts that are December, like second week of December. And I will stop out if you close above like 46.50, right? If you close above here, I'll get out of my short. But until then, I think this is going to be corrective, right? Good afternoon, Tails. Thanks for joining. See, I went short on Lucid today. What else did I go short on today? That's it. What do you guys want me to cover? One chart that's still going up from the last couple of streams is Algo, right? Algorand, it's ripping. This one's in continuation territory, right? It's above the 61.8. which is interesting because a lot of other things bull trapped, right? Is this one bull trapping too? I don't know, but I still have a long open. I was pretty persistent on the drop, on maintaining a long on algo, and it's working, right? It's working. I do think like the next resistance we did just wick off of it was like 2.35, and I mentioned this in Discord that we're probably going to see resistance on the way up, and I'm really hoping we get like a FOMO push, some big candles, and we go up to like 2.82, right? Yeah, definitely shoot me a DM, and when the webinar link goes up, I'll send you a link to it for how to use fibs. So Algo's still pushing up. I'm not sure what else is. You guys show me some sectors. Let's look at charts. Give me something to analyze. Last stream was great. You know, we went. I was live for like an hour because you guys were giving me a lot of your energy, right? Like a lot of your tickers. So help me out. If not, I'm gonna look behind me, get some ticker ideas from my charts, and go over them. And by that time, maybe you guys think of something. Yo, introspective life. What's up? Okay, interesting long play in traditional markets that I'm in. TME, 10 cent, right? We did see the China sell off, and I do think China's bouncing back. And I have $8 calls, I have $9 calls. I think, yeah, and they're far out to mid-December and January. And the highest strike price I have is $9, right? I do think China is bottoming. We did see the savage Alibaba sell off, but like I had some really big bets on Baba before this drop. I tried to counter trade this sell off and it didn't work, right? Like, and I had like a giant position because I wanted like to have a meme position, right? And it didn't work out in favor, so I'm sticking to TME because it's like very similar, just not as expensive of plays. So I do think China is ready to reverse. I also have QQQ calls, which is like the Chinese QQQ, Chinese Tech Index, and or ETF. And I signaled those in Discord. So I do think that like once we get a break above 935, we could see like a run up in TME. And this looks like a reversal formation, right? We've seen things similar before. It looks like an Adam and Eve, and then like a little bit of a bull flag, and now we're busting out. So on this one, like target 1 would be 935, and then target 2 would be like $13, right? And I'm looking forward to this thing reversing. Also, we're seeing movement in cannabis stocks, right? We're seeing a lot of movement in a lot of different sectors. Thoughts on Evergrande? So I haven't really been keeping up with it. I feel like Evergrande, when things are like so big in terms of like news and everybody has like all these different hypotheses on how it's gonna play out, I just tend to brush it off and just look at the charts, right? I don't care if they default. I don't care if they come up with an exit strategy. I'm just going to stick to the charts. And if the charts fool me, then like shame on me. But if I like try to give into the politics of it and try to predict what people are going to do and how it's going to play out, it's not conducive to my trading style, right? Like I try not to think about the stuff, the possibilities, and I try to stay objective, right? That's like, what do you think of Craig Wright being the real Satoshi? Like you know, stuff like that. I stay out of potentials and just stay objective with like data on the chart. All right, so pop up the QQQ, which is a Chinese tech index, right? I have January and March calls on this, and it's looking pretty bottomy, right? Like, not quite a triple bottom, not quite an inverse head and shoulders, but I do things get up to like 77 is my target on this. Target 1 is 77.21. And I want to see China start breaking out, right? Because after this savage sell-off, we could see a pretty heavy snapback, especially if there's like big shorts, right? If you look at like Baba, I mean, this thing got shorted so hard, and if they haven't started covering, they're going to squeeze them. Right, you know, a 40%, 56% correction. That's like, it's pretty savage, right? We should see some kind of snapback. I don't think we've seen Baba correct this far ever. All right. What do you guys want me to cover in terms of like a chart? GoPro. Super quiet, man. No participation. I'll have to like cut this stream early. I was hoping you guys would keep me engaged. I want to like try to find the entry on Litecoin. I can't tell if it's going to be like a 1.2, 1.4 extension or a 61.8 retracement. So let me remove all drawings. I do think, I did mention 233 being like a really good short target because it would be 61.8% retracement of the last leg up. And I still think that is the most ideal scenario. Scenario B would look something like this, but still, yeah, like 234, 233, maybe 241. I'll be patient with it. I'll post in Discord for any plays that I do take for the rest of the day. But for now, I got out of the S&P puts. I bought some LCID puts, and yeah, just pretty much riding everything else. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. Share this stream with oh, there we go, XTZ. Coolly, man, you just saved it. I almost called this stream over. I'm gonna look at Tezos USD. Man, this is like one chart that I actually like hate trading. Not that I have a bias towards it. It's just like it's fooled me so many times. I don't like to participate in it. Let's do USDT Binance. Bittrex. The reason is like it's so volatile, right? And like it goes from 1.2 to 4 back to 1.2 to 4 back to 2. Like it's just pumps 100%, it dumps 100%, right? Like I don't like that. This is one of your like buy and holds. I don't like to leverage trade it. I'm not comfortable trading this chart, but I'll try to assess it, right? And fuck trend lines. I'm just gonna use my fibs. So it's a tricky one. Like, is this the breakout? Here's what we'll do. I think this is the best way to analyze this right now. And if I was to counter trade this, I feel like if we were to see that like next fib drop on the minor one on BTC that I highlighted very early in the stream and like 233 on LTC, I would want to interact with XTZ like 5.28, right? I'd want to look for volume there to counter trade that if it was gonna like run up. So I just set an alert there. Well, try to set an alert there. Delete. So yeah, I'd wanna see what happens at 5.28. That's just like the next level of support, and these are the following ones is 4.5 and then 3. Let's look at XRP. XRP looks like a good long entry, like where it is right now from what I was looking on earlier. We're seeing an attempted break of the trend line right on the daily, and it's like this is another retest, right? But XRP is one of those like fake out coins. It's gonna fake us out a few times before it actually runs, and that's just what happens before a breakout, right? But I mean, in terms of the daily, I'm pretty sure we did break that trend. Yeah. The trend line is no longer intact in terms of bearish. Oh, or is it? See, it's tricky with these wicks, super tricky. More importantly, is it above the 61.8 or back below? So it's not even above. So I'd want to see a test to 1.42 again, right? What's going on the shorter swing, the shorter term swing? It's retesting, right? 1.2 is the 1. Or the 61.8 is at 1.2. It's at this trend line. I feel like if we close above 1.2, we should see a run to 1.42, but it's also going to be dependent on like what BTC and Ether do. Like it's the crypto market. Dash. I'm gonna go over Tether Binance chart. Oh, dude, this looks good. This looks good. It definitely looks incomplete, right? Where we want to see a run up to 337, right? Which is what we saw on like Litecoin, and we saw that on Link. But what's going on right now? It's below the minor 61.8. I feel like a close above 233, right, would set it to run up to like 336. But until it gets back up above 233 and until we see a turnaround in general, like in BTC and the crypto market, I wouldn't quite take a bet on this one. Is there like a trend line resistance retest? Not quite. There is a trend break, right? So we could see this develop in a flag before the breakout. And didn't mean to do that. So we could see like this price action here turn into a pennant or a flag, and that would be something I'd be interested in playing, right? And if we get that breakout, that would be a pretty good move, you know, on like 20x, which would be, yeah, it's a 50% move. That'd be great. Let me see. I don't have my notes from last stream. I don't have my charts from last stream. You guys gave me a couple of good ones. Alright guys, well that wraps it up for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'd like you guys to be more active on Monday, right? Hopefully we get some more volatility in the market, maybe back to the upside. And other than that, trade safe. Have a good weekend. If you have any more questions about anything, join us in Discord. You can follow the link off TradingView to our site, and there's lots of links to Discord on the site. And I'll be in Discord all weekend.